Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the AI Best Business Show, the show where you learn about business, tech, entrepreneurship, startups, and anything related to money making. Today I have with me one of the guests I'm really excited to speak to. He started in the crypto world very early in the region. I call him the crypto guy of the region. Talal, welcome.
Habibi, thank you, Ahmed.
Yeah.
That's very kind of you. Pleasure to be with you on the show.
Talal, welcome. Looking at your background, you started in the crypto world in 2010. Is that right?
Definitely. 2012 actually was the first time that I came across crypto. 2010 was way too early. I graduated from university 2012, and I think I heard about Bitcoin the first time a year before I graduated.
Okay. Uh, how did you hear about crypto? Like, if you could tell us your start, like, did you start investing in crypto right away? What was your experience in crypto early on?
Yeah, actually, a lot of people I think romanticize being very early in crypto, where in reality it's not a race. It's I think of it more of a marathon. And I was lucky that I knew about crypto early, but I actually didn't give it a lot of importance when I first met it. I heard about it from a Chinese neighbor of mine in university, and didn't give it much importance until 2014, when my younger brother Hashim was attending university, and one of his university professors asked every student to open up a blockchain.com wallet, and he sent each of the students $10 worth of Bitcoin. That was 2014.
Wow.
So my brother messaged me, remember this crazy thing you told me about called Bitcoin? Yeah, well, my professor just asked us to open a wallet, and now I have some. So I went back in my files. I realized I owned some, I lost some, and since then, I guess I started reading about it. I moved to Saudi 2014-15. This was pre-MBS, and it meant I had a lot of free time, and that's when I really went into crypto.
Okay. I forgot to mention something. Anything that's going to be spoken on this podcast related to crypto is not an investment advice for anyone who's listening, and just take it as a conversation between me and Talal. We spoke about how you started in crypto. Looking today and comparing to where it was in 2012, what is the state of crypto in the region currently? Are we at full adaption? Are we going there? Is it ever going to happen? Where are we currently?
Yeah, 2012, there wasn't really anything in the Middle East. I think the first person to ever bring crypto to the Middle East was my colleague Ula Dodin. She's our competitor with BitOasis. They started in 2014, I believe, under a different brand, but that was the first, let's say, crypto company that was there out of the Middle East. For there really was no industry. There was probably less than, I don't know, 1,000 people in the Middle East in 2012 that were into crypto. I remember selling some on website called Local Bitcoins, where you just meet random people and buy and sell crypto from them. There really wasn't that many options. Today, it's a very different setup. Burj Khalifa was lit up with the Binance logo a couple of days ago. You have the new Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority in Dubai, where companies are coming from all around the world. You have thousands of people that are employed in the world of crypto. So I wouldn't say that adoption has been, we haven't reached mass adoption, that's for sure. To answer your question, have we reached mass adoption? Akid la, we're very far away from it. But there has been insane progress if you compare it to 10 years time. And to be honest, most of the progress hasn't happened on like the retail user side. Users like me, you, etc. We really haven't felt the marginal growth in crypto. It's been more on the technology side, which will have an impact in the years to come.
What would it take to have this full mass adoption on the retail side? Like, what do you think will take us there?
Reality is time, because today the decision makers are mostly people that are above, I guess, if you take also gender into consideration, most of the decision makers today are white men of the age of above 60. That's where most of the wealth of the world is today. That's unfortunate. Alhamdulillah, in our generation, we don't have to live through the same crap that our older generations had, where wealth was heavily concentrated. Crypto, in my opinion, is one of the best ways to help redistribute wealth. And I guess the people that benefit from that will be the younger generation that adopt that technology early. But again, to answer your question on mass adoption, people think that mass adoption equals spending your money in crypto. And I don't think of it this way. I don't think that I will go and buy coffee from the supermarket using crypto. I don't necessarily think of that as adoption. One of the main uses of crypto, or one of the potential use cases of crypto, is that it is self-sovereign money that is outside the traditional system. So if you saw what happened in Venezuela, Argentina, Lebanon, many countries, people that had money in the bank didn't have anything, because the banks are financial institutions that don't have full backing to the assets that they claim they have. So we initially used to say, oh, it only happens in Venezuela, it only happens in Argentina. Well, past month, we've seen that even the euro, even the pound are not immune to such volatility and reduction in purchasing power. So I'm not saying that Bitcoin is the magic medicine that is going to cure the world, but there are many people like myself who don't believe in a traditional financial system and believe that we shouldn't be waiting for some white man in the US to tell us how much money is worth. Because interest rates are literally the price of money. Like, if you think of it, what's interest rate? Interest rate is the price of money. How much does it cost me to borrow? And how much do I get if I lend? And today that is determined by literally Jerome Powell. He announces how much the interest rates are. So Anna, for me, that's like a very old school thing, almost as bad as, I don't know, gladiators. Like gladiators, you'd say, imagine how barbaric they were back in the day. They used to kill each other for fun. Anna, for me, from a finance standpoint, imagine how stupid we are today. We wait for some guy to tell us how much money should be worth, where in reality, it should be market dynamics. So I guess you asked a specific question. I answered something completely different.
No, I'm gonna go deep into this, and you went ahead because I had questions about this. Here's a question. You say, okay, we had what happened in Venezuela, what happened in Lebanon, what happened to the pound, to the euro. Well, Bitcoin has been crashing, or like cryptocurrencies have been crashing for the past 4 or 5 months now. How is that immune to? If I had bought Bitcoin, let's say at 50K, now it's at 20K, then I lost the value of my money. Same like what happened with the euro or with the pound.
Even worse, because Bitcoin is a more volatile asset. But okay, so a couple of things to unpack here. First of all, Bitcoin is in a price discovery phase, meaning no one really knows what the fair value is. And I think I like to use the Facebook stock example. When Facebook initially IPO'd, was $35, dropped to 18, went up to the hundreds. No one really knew what Facebook was worth when they went public. Similar to Bitcoin, people don't really know what it's worth, and therefore it will have lots of volatility. But going back to the jump to 60 and back to the 20, at the moment, Bitcoin is mostly correlated to the US monetary policy. If there is a lot of money printing, a lot of that money will find its way to risk-on assets. Risk-on assets is Tesla stocks, Bitcoin. People want to take risk. If the government gives you free money, you're going to take risk. Halla, we are in a contractionary period where they are reducing the size of the balance sheet. So naturally, all risk-on assets are going to be sold to stuff that's more reliable. For me, Bitcoin is more reliable, but I'm the outlier. I'm not the masses. So mass adoption will be when more people think like I do and want to store their money in something that is outside the control of human beings that will make mistakes. Why do people like gold? Why do Indian families store gold at home? Because if an elected official comes and say, hey, you know what, Ahmed, I don't like you, give me your money. This has happened in many countries before, but it can't happen with gold unless someone physically takes it from you. First of all, the first misconception, Bitcoin is not, or crypto is not immune to economic cycles. بالعكس, it operates on cycles مع steroids. يعني when there's a bull market, Bitcoin increases more than the rest. And when there's a crash, it drops more than the rest. Why? Multiple reasons. You have first a shallow market. يعني today, if you have $50 million and you buy Apple shares worth $50 million, the price won't move a lot. But if you come with $50 million and buy a stock from the Jordanian stock market, first of all, the market would not absorb it. There isn't enough liquidity for it. But I guess the example I'm making here is crypto is quite shallow compared to gold. Gold is a 10 trillion market, much harder to change its price. Whereas crypto, any buy or sell will have a larger impact. Monetary policy is also another one. But if you take, like, I see Bitcoin's investment as a very long-term view. So the drop between 60 and 40 and 20 is not something that I lose sleep over. But
Okay.
as you mentioned earlier, no investment advice in this podcast. Yeah.
This concept takes me back to here in the US, where before in history there was a concept that's separation of church and state. We could think about another concept that I think has been mentioned: separation of money and state. How could we get there? How could we separate money on there? Are we gonna get there ever in the future?
And I have no doubt in my mind that the separation of state and money will happen. It is just the natural course of action, because I believe money is a technology.
Okay.
And let me, I guess, try to explain that. Initially, when we didn't have Zoom or didn't have internet or didn't have the technical capabilities we had today, we had shells. Those
Right.
shells would denominate how much money I have. But then those shells became easy to forge, and therefore they're not useful as money, because money should have properties that make it difficult for other people to create new forms of it.
Okay.
So for thousands and thousands of years, gold was the best technology for money. Why? Because it's not easy to replicate gold. You need to dig into the ground and spend energy and money in order to extract it. And you can't create synthetic gold where you just create it out of thin air. For thousands of years, gold was the best form of money. And then we had increase in trade, in global trade. What happened then? Because, okay, taking a step back on money, this is a little bit philosophical, but bear with me. Money is a way or a method, technology, to move economic value through time and space. So let's look at time and space. If you want to move money over time, you need to make sure that the government or whoever has money can't create more of it, because your value will drop over time if people create more of it. And then the ability to move value over space is also important, because I want to be able to send money to New York. I want to be able to send money to Japan. With gold, it's not easy to send money to Japan, because I need to transport it. It's expensive. So what did governments do? They said, okay, you know what? We have paper. Paper is a technology. Let's store this gold, this precious gold. Let's store it in our central banks and issue a document that says, hey, Ahmed, with this document, you can go to our central bank and
buy gold.
And take back your gold. You give the paper, you take back your gold.
Okay.
And then in 1971, when technically the US needed more money, but they didn't have enough gold, and there were no more countries that they could easily invade and take their gold, which is what used to happen in Europe and the US. President said, you know what? Your papers are no longer exchangeable for gold, and this is temporary. In 1971, we saw a really big change in what money is. So I guess going back to the earlier point about technology, we started with seashells, we moved to paper cash, we then moved to the banking system, which we use today, where most money is actually just zeros on a screen, and it is governed within the Federal Reserve System and other central banks around the world. Today, Bitcoin is simply a superior technology. If you compare it to the money that government issues across any metric, pick any metric you want from a mechanical standpoint, and Bitcoin would be significantly better. Plus, honestly, this might sound a little bit aggressive, but I think that the definitions of countries will change.
Okay.
The definition of a country will also change. Apple is bigger than most countries.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Balaji speaks about this concept, about how countries will be formed more around communities, or about people going towards the same goal more than just physical countries, which is really something to explore. Going back to the concept of separation of money and state, up until this day, if I want to transfer money, even if I want to use Bitcoin, I'm going through a regulated channel or startup, let's say CoinMena, Coinbase, Robinhood. They're all regulated. Well, I'm still depending on the government to be able to buy Bitcoin, use my Bitcoin, transfer my Bitcoin or my crypto money, then isn't that still a connection between state and money?
Hello. Okay. First of all, I think there's a misconception that I want to clear for myself as Talal. Many crypto people are anarchists, like screw the government. I don't think that. I actually don't mind the government. I just think that they are better off doing specific things than the rest. And there's stuff that governments should be doing and stuff that they shouldn't be doing. I don't think money should be one of them. I think money should actually be a private sector function, and that's something that has been enforced by بالغصب. يعني it was mandatory. If you go out today and try to create new money, the government will throw you in jail. Why?
Right.
Because they have a monopoly over that. But that's the beautiful thing about technology. It allows you to break up existing monopolies in ways that government really can't stop. I think one of my favorite economists predicts basically the eventual creation of something like Bitcoin, basically where he says that it's going to be impossible to remove the control of money from governments in their will, because why would they give it up? It is such a solid control. Like if I was government, I would never give money to private sector because I use it to control everything. People are unhappy, lower interest rates. People are, yeah, there's many ways where you can play with the money supply to affect social, economic, political areas. But again, that's for the benefit of specific people over the masses.
Right.
I think the concept of public blockchains is going to really change how the world works, because this is a bit of a tangent, but I think this example is relevant. There's a company called Celsius that used to do borrowing and lending. Okay. This company blew up. They took way too much debt and they didn't have enough assets to cover their. On the other side, you had lending protocols like MakerDAO that does the same thing as Celsius. It allows you to borrow or allows you to lend and make interest. The difference between these two is the difference between the old world that doesn't use blockchain or crypto and the new world that does. Celsius, we had to depend on some auditor to say, hey, Celsius has $5 billion in assets, 6 billion in liabilities, so they're missing 1 billion. This is as per the date of the letter. Next week they spent X on lawyers, this asset dropped, but redo the calculation. It is such a manual process and completely opaque, like there's no transparency. On the other side, with MakerDAO, you could figure out the loan to or like debt to collateral ratio by the minute, by the block technically. This is just an example that will allow you to see the upside of having a transparent public blockchain than closed system.
And I guess what you just said explains why Celsius is not really a DeFi. It's more of a kind of just lending system that pretends to be a DeFi.
It is a lending. No, they don't even pretend to be DeFi. They just use crypto as collateral for their loans.
Okay. To end up the part of separation of money and state, and I had this question. Let's say I'm in Lebanon, Venezuela, Argentina, Syria, or whatever country that has a failed banking system, regulations on banking. I can't transfer my money. How can I use crypto to be able to send money in and out of the country without the intervention of the government?
Hello, that's a question that I'm not qualified to speak on. And even if I was qualified, I should probably not answer it. But the first thing that comes to mind is mining, because that's why mining got banned in China. Because what is mining? Crypto mining, you're buying machines, okay, and then you connect these machines to the electricity. So your cost is paid in local currency. You pay your bills in RMB to the government, but what you get back is Bitcoin, and you can take that Bitcoin wherever the hell you want. So in China, the Bitcoin mining, because China is one of the most closed economies, like in terms of its size and how closed it is, it's crazy. Nothing is like China. Bitcoin mining is a popular one. There's also P2P markets where you buy from other individuals. I guess at CoinMena being a regulated entity, we can't operate in any jurisdiction where crypto isn't allowed.
Okay. For the past 24 minutes of the podcast, we've been speaking about Bitcoin as the main thing. Do you think Bitcoin is a distraction from the revolution crypto is making in the world of like Web3 and this whole currency and new technology world? Do you think crypto is a distraction?
Okay, هلا فthere's it's a very loaded question. Ahmed. This is I don't think Bitcoin is a distraction. I don't think crypto is a distraction, and I base my opinion on Satoshi, the original creator of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is intended to be a peer-to-peer cash system. It is a way for me and you to exchange value without any intermediaries. That is an amazing use case, but it's not all of crypto. There's so much more to crypto. Satoshi in initial writings talks about colored tokens, and colored tokens is actually now called NFTs. And he was talking about how every domain on the internet will become in the form of a colored token where you can send it, you can sell it, you can collateralize it and take a loan against it. In my opinion, both Bitcoin and crypto will succeed to different degrees. And crypto is a very wide spectrum, because if me and you launch a token today that has absolutely no purpose, it's still classified as crypto. Saying crypto is bad is just like saying debt or equity is bad. You can't generalize.
So I guess Bitcoin won't be a distraction. Bitcoin is the revolution that's happening. So Ethereum, Solana, all these coins that came out because of the Bitcoin concept.
Of course.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that they're going to fail. Most of them will fail, but they're doing something that's quite different from Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not flexible, which is why it's secure. But again, in technology, there's always trade-offs. You can have a faster blockchain that's less secure, or you can have so Bitcoin is slow, expensive, but it's very secure. It's the most secure database in the world.
Would you call yourself a Bitcoin maximalist?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I actually think that anyone that's a Bitcoin maximalist, in my opinion, is an idiot. Okay. Because how can you have such a strong opinion about something that no one freaking knows yet? You're pretending like you understand everything. Every passing day in this industry, I realize how little I know compared to what's out there. Even though my personal, if you look at my portfolio, you'd say, okay, shit, this guy really believes in it. But even when I talk about it, I believe in it. But to say that it is the only thing that's going to succeed, in my opinion, is arrogant and not open enough. In technology specifically, things change very quickly.
And things evolve. We see different use cases of these coins or of these technologies that you have to always keep on learning and keep on changing the way you do stuff.
But to be fair, there is nothing like Bitcoin. Bitcoin has no known founder. It has no address. Changing the code is extremely challenging. Bitcoin is in a league of its own. There's other cryptos that are also doing cool stuff. But I think what I hate about Bitcoin maximalism is saying that, Ethereum and the rest, they're not going to work for anything. Where the reality is, you're not comparing the same functionality. Like Bitcoiners think of everything as money. Oh, this should be hard money. But the reality is, Bitcoin will replace gold as hard money. But you have so many systems that Ethereum can replace.
Yeah. Ethereum could replace the App Store, or Solana could replace the App Store.
Solana probably can't, but And I used to be a very big fan of Solana, and I don't know what I think about them anymore.
What changed your mind, or what made you?
It was a joke from my partner Yazan, who said Solana is going to be this wave's IOTA. And because I was excited about IOTA in the previous cycle, and I was telling Yazan, oh, look at this DAG technology. Like, Talal, you're just excited about this. It's going to die eventually. I'm like, yeah, maybe, but you don't know. And with Solana, same thing happened. I'm like, this is fast. To look at how many developers who, like, it's going to break. And Solana's blockchain went down multiple times. I guess
it didn't go down multiple times because it's growing so fast, and it's acting faster than Ethereum. That's why just like how we think about MySpace and Facebook. MySpace used to go down a lot because of the what are they called? Their servers used to fail, and then Facebook found a solution. Isn't that the concept?
No, not really. With Solana, they initially went down because of an external attack.
Okay.
So like a similar to a DDoS attack. Which shows me that Solana isn't as resilient as Ethereum or Bitcoin but again, I'm a very big Ethereum fan. The Ethereum blockchain in 2014-15 got reversed, which is like the ultimate sin of blockchain, because we say blockchains are irreversible or immutable. Ethereum is proved to be mutable. They changed it with Ethereum Classic. There was a split of the blockchain.
Right.
That's why I say Bitcoin is on a league of its own, and then there's the rest of the crypto that are doing amazing stuff, but much harder to gauge whether they're going to work or not.
You said a term earlier, which was NFT, non-fungible tokens. We've seen them as arts, mostly as some projects. We've recently seen some use cases. But if we look at the data at OpenSea, which is one of the biggest exchange, we see the plumb in the NFT exchanges and how much NFT has been sold and bought. Is NFT done? Is it over, or is it gonna go back up? Are we gonna see different use cases?
Oh yeah, so NFTs are not done. We will see a lot of NFTs, and our kids will see a lot of NFTs, and it's something that's not gonna die. The craze of me and you going into a mint and buying an NFT for 1 Ethereum and selling it for 5 or 10, realistically, that might not happen again because it was stupid. But okay, first, what are NFTs? People say non-fungible tokens. And honestly, when English wasn't my first language. So when someone told me, it's a non-fungible token, I'm like, token, I understand, but what the hell is fungible? I had to research it, and I'm like, okay, shit, now it makes sense. For anyone watching that's like me that didn't know what fungible is, it is basically something that's uniform. Yani all iPhone 13s are the same. All dollars are the same. If I have $1 in my pocket and you have $1 in my pocket, we exchange it, no issues. It's the same. But let's say there is a limited edition watch that there's only 3 of it from. Each one of these 3 is different in a unique way. I think baseball cards, collectibles are good ways to showcase how non-fungible. Non-fungible yani is you can't replace it with another one. The best example that I've found to understand is a title deed. So let's say I'm currently in Amman. So let's say there's a title deed for a land. I can't just swipe my title deed with you, just like I would exchange $1 for $1, because that land might have different dimensions, different value, whatever. NFTs are like land deeds. Each one of them is specific in its own way. It has its own features, etc. The initial use case we saw for NFTs was collectibles. يعني it's more fun giggles laughs crypto kitties. It wasn't like it was more on the art side. Having said that, there's so much potential on other forms of NFTs. So title deeds would be something that I think will eventually become NFT like. Music is also another one. Now there's a new trend that it's not really a trend yet, but I think it'll be a trend. It's something called SBTs. It's soul-bound tokens. So
explain.
I explained what NFTs are, right? You kind of وصلت الفكرة of
yes.
SBTs are something. This is not my idea. I will not take credit for it. It's something that Vitalik, the founder of Ethereum, wrote about. And soul-bound tokens are basically tokens that are non-transferable, and they aim to solve the identity issue in crypto. If I'm using my wallet today, and I don't know if it's really my wallet, is this Talal, is this not Talal, because of the pseudo-anonymity of crypto.
Right.
But what if you knew, I don't know, Dubai government's address, you knew the address of my father, you knew the address of whatever, and all of these people are saying this is Talal. So let's say I have an address, an Ethereum address, like this starts with 0x and ends with whatever. So this address is mine. I ask all of my connections to verify that it's me. So you know the ticker, the Twitter tick?
The Twitter,
It is like a crowd-sourced Twitter tick. But instead of seeing the tick, you see who ticked. يعني مثلا let's say Dubai government or the founder of FTX or 6 other high-profile people say it's Talal. Then you will believe, because these are credible people and they're not gonna. It's like a reputation, on-chain reputation system, I guess.
Okay, that makes sense.
This, I think, is going to be a very important wave in the next cycle, because it addresses many of the disadvantages that were there in crypto.
Or the concerns that people have that, okay, crypto is going to be used for the mafia to transfer money or for illegal actions.
I think these concerns, in my opinion, anyone that says that has no idea how money laundering works. Money laundering works predominantly in cash, gold, and real estate, because crypto is insanely traceable. If anyone is laundering money using crypto, honestly, they're idiots. But anyway, going back to the SBT point, not only does it, I think, not only does it address the issue of KYC AML, and in my opinion, someone that comes from the financial world or the engineering world, I think there's bigger problems to solve than that. One of which is over collateralization. Today, any loan you take in crypto, you have to over collateralize. And let's say I have Ethereum. Okay, I have $100 worth of Ethereum, and I want to borrow $50. I have to put all of that $100 in a contract and take $50 worth of credit. Hello. If today Messi came to CoinMena, Messi's address is confirmed 100%, Messi asked for $500, I'll just give it to Messi. I'm giving it to Messi because I want the upside of working with that guy, even if it has even if he has zero collateral. This would be fully transparent. So whoever is the lender, their exposure is known. The issue with banking today is a bank can give a loan to someone they like. They can overcome some of the checks and balances to do favors, but the customers that deposit their money in the bank have no idea who are the bank lending it to.
Okay.
Yeah, these transparent systems, we still haven't seen them work at scale, but I'm personally very bullish about them.
So to see them work at scale, are we going to need a startup like CoinMena to go and build such a system, or is it something the developers as a whole and the ecosystem have to go and build?
No, I don't think. Okay, so this is one of the areas where I don't fully agree with the crypto people. Developer community, it will build itself, inshallah, it will sell. That's not how the real world works. The real world works where there is someone that is accountable, and there's a team of people that are also accountable for specific areas.
Okay.
I think that even Bitcoin or Ethereum moving from Ethereum to Ethereum 2.0, there's many developers, there's a foundation, there's salaries, there's calls, nothing just pops out of thin air. Which, except for Bitcoin, which is Bitcoin has not spent a single dollar in marketing since its existence, which is why I think it's Satoshi
genius.
Satoshi should receive any prize out there, like whether it's physics, economics.
Is he still alive?
First of all, we don't know if it's a he. That's the first thing that I would dispute or challenge. I don't think that they're alive, but that's not really based on. I've heard such crazy theories about like the founding of Bitcoin that at this point, I don't care. But I fully understand why anonymity was preserved.
Okay.
Again, going back to the Messi example, if Messi walks into Dubai Mall, what do you think is going to happen? People are going to sign up signatures or other. Well, Messi doesn't have as much money as Satoshi.
Yes.
But if Satoshi was a known figure, they would have thrown him in jail. They would have used him for political stuff. He wouldn't have, or she wouldn't have survived. I think the anonymity of Bitcoin is one of the most genius parts.
Talal, there's a lot of concepts to cover, but I want to speak about CoinMena. What is CoinMena? Is it just Coinbase? Am I just buying crypto and selling crypto on CoinMena? Or like, what is CoinMena?
Hello, when you say is it just Coinbase, Coinbase is a publicly listed company on the NASDAQ in the US worth tens of billions of dollars. So if you want to give me Coinbase status now, عادي, I'll take it. No, I'm kidding. For CoinMena, we're the fastest and easiest way to buy and sell crypto in the Middle East.
Okay.
That's the functionality that we have today, but obviously that's not where we see ourselves down the line. We think that crypto is a better way of providing financial services, and the market problem today is how do people buy and sell crypto?
Okay.
I guess as a company we have multiple goals. Obviously we're venture backed, which means we need to grow, we need to make money. But at the same time, we believe that crypto will make a positive impact on the world. So you can make money and have your customers also benefit from the upside of the service.
So are you planning on having lending systems? Are you gonna dabble into all of this?
Yeah. So staking, lending, cards, payments.
Okay.
We will get into that space, and slowly but surely we'll eat the business of the other fintechs that are still using outdated technology.
Okay. So your first step for now is just buying and selling cryptocurrencies. I know you released, I think it was CoinMena card or what? You released a card.
So we launched the waitlist with Visa.
Okay.
Because people always say, no, how am I going to buy? How am I going to spend my crypto? So I think that you will spend your crypto using your Visa or MasterCard, your Visa card. لأنه if you think of it, Visa has 140 million merchants around the world. They're in every country. Why reinvent the wheel? أنا today, if I want to spend in crypto, I have to have a QR code that leads to a wallet. And like, why go through all this headache? I have crypto in my account. I just link it to a Visa card and I can spend. Maybe 5-10 years down the line, when everyone has crypto, I don't need the service. But until then, we think Visa is the best way to do it. And yeah, we'll offer these retail banking services, if you want to call it, but they're not banking services. Just so that
with the card is what's happening on the back end is, okay, I'll have my Visa card. I'm using my cash money, but on the back end, this cash money in my bank account is being transferred into crypto. And then
let me tell you how it works. So today you have $1,000 in your CoinMena app. On our mobile app, you have $1,000. And those $1,000, 500 is in Bitcoin, 500 is in dollars.
Okay.
Let's say you make a $400 purchase. We will only spend your dollars. We won't touch your Bitcoin.
Okay.
Then you make a $200 purchase. At that point, we use the remainder of your $100 and we sell $100 worth of Bitcoin to finance that trade. And that's done instantly.
Okay. Oh, so on CoinMena, I could have money in dollars. It's not just cryptocurrencies.
You can have it in dollars, dirham, riyal, Omani, Kuwaiti, Bahraini, pound, euro, franc.
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to expand as many crypto assets
fiat currencies.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because we see ourselves as I don't want to say crypto bank because that'll need us to get different types of licenses. We're a financial services provider.
Okay. You're in UAE, KSA, Bahrain, and Egypt, right? Which one is the harder market out of these, and why?
Oman and Qatar and Kuwait.
Right. Okay.
Saudi is the most lucrative market.
Okay.
Because I think they have the best potential from a demographic, from a disposable income. Many areas lead me to say that Saudi is the best. In Egypt, we don't operate in Egypt yet because we operate out of Bahrain and we are allowed to onboard Egyptian residents. So I would say that's a tough one to crack because you can't market freely in Egypt. People can't wire and send as freely as they can from the GCC. But yeah, I would say Saudi is the most important market and Egypt's the most challenging one.
Why is that? Is it regulations?
Yeah, crypto is not legal in
Okay. But it's 100 million
so it's a
population market. It's huge.
Yeah, it's worth cracking. So yeah.
Yes. So I hope CoinMena gets in there. Be the first to get in there.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, Talal, go ahead.
The name is CoinMena. There is the NA at the end. So North Africa is also on the radar.
Yeah. How do you make money from CoinMena? Like it's free to exchange, right?
It's not free to exchange. We charge a trading fee. We charge
you charge a trading fee.
5%.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is that enough to make real money, 0.75%?
Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised at crypto volumes in the region.
So you're not selling. So you're not selling data, or you're not having other stuff you're doing on the back end.
Not at all. Actually, from a data perspective, Bahrain, I would say, is one of the most advanced regionally. There is very stringent and solid data protection requirements. So that data is more valuable for us than it is for others. So we fully retain it ourselves.
Just because I'm trying to understand, because I know
we make money from deposit. By
Right.
the way, Robinhood doesn't sell data. Robinhood sells
Okay.
order flow, which is very different.
Okay. Could you explain that?
Hello. Today, Robinhood is technically the most popular, one of the most popular retail-focused exchanges. What does retail-focused means? It means me and Ahmed log into my phone and say, buy one Apple share. Hello. This is not how professional traders work. Professional traders have an algorithm that splits their purchase over time. The concept of market maker is something that's important. For today, when you have an exchange, you have a buy and sell side, okay, in traditional exchanges, and then you have something called market maker. The market maker's role is to fulfill the orders of customers. Yani Ahmed came today and said, I want to buy one Apple share. Even if there's no one selling from the other side, the market maker's job is to come and fulfill your order and for them to make a small profit.
Okay.
If you're a market maker, you make so much more money on the retail than you make on professional.
Okay.
You know, the retail usually don't know what they're doing. They're not using a complex algorithm to make the purchase. Robinhood had a lot of, as we call them in Arabic, khawarif. They had a lot of customers that were easy targets for large corporations to make money from. So what did Robinhood end up doing is, so Robinhood is here, all these retail customers are coming in with orders. Instead of Robinhood fulfilling their orders, they went to the market makers, like said, hey, we have this bunch of orders coming from users that have no idea what they're doing. Do you want to trade against them? And the market makers obviously compete to trade against these retail users. Usually they have to trade against complex, and to think of it as a boxing fight. And so you have, you can either go against the expensive
professionals,
professionals, or you can go box a couple of retail investors and make money while you do it. Citadel, which is one of the largest market makers, they at some point I think got an insane percentage of revenue. A big part of Robinhood's revenue came from Citadel
because of what happened with AMC and all the what happened.
Because they were buying order flow from them.
Okay, that makes sense. In 5 years, 10 years, if there was one reason or two reasons that would make CoinMena fail, what would that reason be? If you sit by yourself and like brainstorming and like, okay, what would make us fail in 10 years so we could avoid it? What would that be?
First of all, we're not afraid of failure. And I don't think anyone should be afraid of failure. You need to make sure that whatever you're doing is catered to the problem you're solving and within the setting. Because if I opened CoinMena in 2012, it's the same problem that I'm solving. I want to allow people to buy crypto, but it's a very different setting. But to answer your question directly, I would say regulatory risk is the biggest one. I don't know, change of president in the US, and the US says, you know what, crypto is illegal. And for both US and China to say crypto is illegal, the whole industry will take a hit, or the valuations will take a hit, investor appetite will take a hit. The regulatory one is definitely a big obstacle, and that's on a global scale. And even that, I think, is short term. Again, I'm not a balanced opinion to ask. I'm extremely biased, and yeah, regulatory risk, probably cyber security risk also. No, today we really haven't seen insane advancements in quantum computing as Bitcoin has not been broken yet, but maybe it gets broken. No one knows. I don't think it will, because there's a $1 trillion bounty on its head. If you crack Bitcoin, you can make insane amounts of money. Because you can short it. Right. Let's say you figured out a way to break Bitcoin. You would literally short the hell out of it and then break it, and you would make so much money. I think money is the best motivator for people. Literally, it's like a money dangling in front of any hacker or hada. No, ta'al, hack me. It's a public network. But then again, nothing is impossible. I would say regulatory or security would be the biggest two.
Okay. You raised money to start Coinbase and to advance Coinbase. One question I have is doing some research. You had made one of your previous experiences when you first introduced Bitcoin to someone in the region. You had made great money out of that. I'm assuming it was a great amount of money. why did you decide to raise money instead of bootstrapping? Were you able to bootstrap CoinMena?
So we raised money at CoinMena after we had paying customers, after we had a full license.
Okay.
So I guess to walk you through the history of CoinMena, we started the company in 2020. Talal, Yazan, and Dina. We all put money as founders, and we had to put in a good amount of money to basically reach our capital requirements. And to get a central bank license, you need to put up money in the bank. So we did that only as founders. We built the initial product, we launched, we got a couple of thousand customers. And then you don't bring a knife to a gunfight. If Rain is raising 50 million, 30 million, we raised 9.5 million, which we thought was a good amount of money to grow. But yeah, I mean, there is no secret answer for fundraising.
Okay. Why are you better than Rain and the other competitors?
First of all, we don't compare ourselves to anyone else.
Okay.
I wish them all the best, but we don't see anyone. We compare ourselves to our own standards only.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, ask our customers. 50% of our deposits come from unhappy customers leaving other exchanges. So,
okay.
No, I mean, I respect both companies, honestly. And
I mean,
think
the reason I'm asking is I sat with a couple of developers. I sat with a
Mhm.
couple of developers working in the region, and I was speaking about the concept, and then they mentioned some of the competitors that they're not doing good and they're having struggles recently. And I just wanted to trigger.
Hello. Your question was loaded, and I gave you a diplomatic answer to start, but I'll give you the one that you're looking for. I think that all crypto exchanges in the Middle East have extremely underwhelming products.
Okay.
BitOasis, Rain, CoinMena, you name it, underwhelming product. Because until today, the only thing I can do is to deposit money and buy crypto, deposit crypto, sell to money.
Okay.
This use case was cracked 9 years ago by most companies. Today, companies have moved to staking, to lending, to NFTs, to freaking Coinbase does payroll.
Right.
No, we're very early on, but you can't compare. Maybe the Middle East region doesn't have appetite for those new types of products.
Okay. So you have to find what's targeted to the Middle East, to the MENA region. What the customers want.
Yeah.
Okay.
But from a product standpoint, all are underwhelming.
Okay. I have 3 more questions to go through. Is your plan to get listed or to get bought by one of the big companies that's in the US that wants to get a market in the Middle East?
Yeah. So I don't think that. I think that is the wrong mentality.
Okay.
If you start with that mentality, then I don't think you can succeed.
What does Talal dream of?
I dream of a lot of stuff, but I think that if you are able to scale your business and achieve profitability, then you have the optionality of choosing what you want. Okay. You can list, you can sell, you can continue operating a profitable business. I think that the goal should be to become #1 in the Middle East and be profitable.
Okay.
Because if you can achieve those two,
the rest
then
will come.
You can choose. You can pick and choose. And I want to partner with this company. I want to list in Saudi. I want to list in New York.
Okay.
Obviously, you can't just decide to list on New York, but if you have the right investors with you, which I think we did a good job selecting our investors. They've been insanely supportive. But yeah, there is no necessarily fairy tale ending of no, oh Allah, I'm going to sell to company X.
Okay. 2 questions here. They're kind of fun questions. If you weren't building CoinMena, what would you be building?
I would. I'm looking at a couple of other industries. There are multiple other industries that are of interest to mine. Yeah, I don't know. So maybe next year I'll be able to give you a more concrete answer. I have a couple of industries that I'm studying at the moment, and
so there's something in the work that you're planning on building.
Not really. And I started studying crypto 2014. I launched CoinMena 2020.
Okay, so probably in the next 4 years we'll see another startup from Talal.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a startup. It could be something research related. It's I don't want to box myself within the confines of serial entrepreneur like that. I don't have that desire, you know.
Okay. if you look, if you had an investment fund and you were investing in people in the crypto industry in the region, what are some startups, young entrepreneurs you're seeing that, okay, you're like, I'm gonna invest my money in that person and that person and this idea and this idea?
هلا there's ones that are very opportunistic that I would invest in. So like a top custodian, in my opinion, is a no-brainer. لأنه today the governments force us to store our data with Amazon Bahrain or Amazon Dubai or Amazon, you know, data privacy is a big thing. Imagine what they're going to do for crypto custody. Today, all of crypto custody sits in the US with a couple of custodians. I think any crypto custodian in the Middle East that's going to come about is a good investment opportunity. Obviously, if it has a good team.
So basically, custodian is where you store your crypto.
Exactly.
Okay.
لأنه today all of the exchanges in the Middle East, they store their crypto in other custodians. No one stores the crypto themselves.
Okay.
I would be very interested to see actually the best people to find are there's many people moving to Dubai, whether it's engineers from Binance, whether it's engineers from other companies. There's lots of crypto people moving to Dubai. Many of those will become startup founders. So those would be the people that I would look at. Plus, honestly, our team. I would fund anyone from our team. I think we have the best team in the industry, and if anyone of them were to do a startup, I'd be the first to invest.
Okay. Talal, this was a great episode. You're very aware of the subject. You know the history, you know the future.
I have no idea what the future looks like.
But like you kind of have an analysis of what you think the future would look like. Coming from a historical background, I think this episode was enriched. I was really happy, and hopefully in one more year, I want to have you back again and like have a wider discussion. Thank you for being here. Any plug-ins? Are you guys hiring? Where could people find more of what Talal is doing, what CoinMena is doing?
Yeah, I mean, thank you, by the way. I really also enjoyed the conversation, and hope your audience liked it as well. I'm on Twitter, Talal Tabba, or sorry, LinkedIn, Talal Tabba, on Twitter, Tabba4. And then we're very active on social media with CoinMena. We have a lot of educational content. And yeah, I mean, in terms of hiring, we'll probably be hiring again early next year. We didn't do mass layoffs like most crypto exchanges, but we'll be taking it easy until we see the macroeconomic environment. But we've been as bullish as we've ever been on crypto, and hopefully by next year we'll have a same conversation with slightly different price range.
That sounds great. Thank you, Talal, again.